What's up, guys? Jacob Ober here. So today was a very big day for the Green Bay Packers and new general manager Brian Gutekunst, who is in his second year. Yesterday, a lot of people were criticizing the Green Bay Packers for not going after some big-name free agents. Today, the Green Bay Packers signed 4 free agents that were all pretty big names, or who I would anticipate will be pretty big names when all is said and done. The first signing of the day was for linebacker Za'Darius Smith, who recorded 8 sacks with the Baltimore Ravens last year. And he's a guy who's really kind of on the up and come right now. I think his best years are still ahead of him. He's going to be 26 in September. In fact, every single player that the Packers signed are all going to be 26 when the season starts in September this year. But Za'Darius Smith, I think he was in the top 10 for quarterback pressures last year, and he's getting some pretty good money. He is getting a 4-year deal worth $66 million. A lot of people might say that's an overpay, but if this guy turns into what you think he's going to, then this is certainly not an overpay. This is a fantastic deal for the Packers if he turns into what a lot of people think he can be. The second signing of the day was Adrian Amos, a safety from the Chicago Bears, who put together a pretty solid season last year for the Bears, and he has been one of Pro Football Focus's most highly rated safeties for the past few seasons. I think the past 3 years he's ranked in the top 10 for Pro Football Focus for their safety rankings. Last year I believe he was number 8, but he was one of the top safeties on the market. The Packers got him for what I believe is an absolute steal. 4 years, $37 million, an average of $9.25 million a year. That's an amazing deal. This guy, I think, is borderline elite at safety. I'm not going to say he's elite, but he's really good. And this is a perfect deal for the Green Bay Packers. They get the safety that they need, the safety help, and then they added on later in the day, too, with Preston Smith, who was a pass rusher for the Washington Redskins. They signed him to a 4-year, $52 million deal, and him and Za'Darius Smith, the Smith brothers, are going to be wrecking some havoc on opposing quarterbacks next year, I can assure you that. These two are very talented pass rushers. Preston Smith only had 4 sacks last season, but he was among league leaders in quarterback pressures, just like Za'Darius Smith. Those two are going to solidify the pass rush role. That probably means that Clay Matthews is on his way out as well. Nick Perry was released earlier today, so that just kind of shows you how big of a day it's been for the Green Bay Packers. They've been signing guys, releasing guys all over the place. Nick Perry was set to make $11 million this year, but I think a lot of people anticipated that he was going to get released no matter what. The final signing of the day was another area of need for the Green Bay Packers, and that was that offensive line. They signed offensive lineman Billy Tucker from the Buffalo Bills to a 4-year, $29 million deal. So that was about all they did today. The offensive line move, I might be inclined to say that that was an overpay because I don't really think he's an elite guard or an elite linebacker. Billy Tucker has a lot of flexibility on the line. He can play pretty much every position except center, which is something you really like to have when you have when you get an offensive lineman, because obviously injuries happen to the offensive line a lot, and especially in Green Bay, we've dealt with that a lot. But this is all in all a really good day for Brian Gutekunst and the Green Bay Packers. And honestly, there couldn't have been a better day after the first day of free agency for the Green Bay Packers. I think that was their strategy all along. They're going to wait for the first day to pass, and then they were going to get all of the bargain deals that were out there. And these guys, I don't think any one of them is really a name that pops out as like, oh man, that guy's an all-pro, right? But they're all moves that are like, you're paying these guys for what they are going to play like, not what they did play like. An Earl Thomas type of signing, yeah, it's flashy, but Earl Thomas, I feel like his best days are probably behind him. Now, it's not to say that I wouldn't have liked to get Earl Thomas, but, I mean, these guys, these are all up-and-coming players. These are all emerging stars in the league right now, so you're paying them for what you think they're going to be, and they apparently think that a lot of these players are going to end up being stars, and I agree, especially Adrian Amos and both Smith brothers. I mean, these guys have a lot of upside. I would not be surprised to see 1 or 2 or maybe all 3 of them become Pro Bowlers, maybe even all pros. I mean, they are very talented players, very underrated players, and the Packers, it's awesome to see that they're taking this approach to free agency because guys like Ted Thompson before Brian Gutekunst would have never done things like this. Maybe at most one or two lower-end free agents that maybe were on the backtrack of their careers. Obviously, he struck gold with Charles Woodson back in 2008, but I mean, this is, or 2006, sorry, not 2008, but, like, these are all guys, like, that you're paying to, like, be a part of the future, not just to be, you know, a couple-year rentals on, you know, the backtrack of someone's career, you know. It's not, these are all guys who have their best years ahead of them, I believe, and they all got, we paid for what we expect them to be, which we hope is elite. So, yeah, the Packers solidify their defensive line with both Smith brothers, and Amos in the defensive backfield is going to be a force to be reckoned with. He is a guy who can play all over the field, really good coverage skills, and really, really good run defense especially. He's a very hard hitter at safety, and that's going to be kind of inspire the toughness, I think, in the defense. You know, he's going to be one of those anchors of the defensive unit, I believe. And all of them fit really well into Mike Pettine's system, too, I believe. And obviously, Billy Tucker on the offensive line provides some very sorely needed depth at that position, and of course, I think he's going to be a starter, by the way. So, anyways, guys, though, that's all I have to say in this video. Really busy day for the Green Bay Packers, and I don't think they're done yet. I forgot to mention as well, this also allows the Packers to be a little more flexible in the draft, because now you're not selecting based on, like, your needs, right? Like, the Packers addressed their need at safety, they addressed their need at edge, and they addressed their need at offensive line. Now you're free to pick pretty much any player you want at the number 12 spot. You could pick the best player available there, and I think that's something that the Packers really wanted to have with their number 12 pick. So, anyways, guys, though, that's all I have to say in this video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section below. How do you feel about these deals? Do you think the Packers are going to be better off or worse off in the next 4 years with all of these guys? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Go Pack, go.